and the Contender 32 ST, with an overall length of 32 feet 8 inches, a beam of 9 feet 8 inches, and max horsepower rating of 700.
All right, a boat that really doesn't need any introduction is the Contender, but you know what? We could not do a 32 center console show without the Contender 32 ST.
Oh shoot, no, it was at the beginning of the big center consoles.
What I love about their ST hull, the ST stands for step. This is the only boat out of the three that's got a double step. It almost causes a vacuum underneath, and now it's not going to happen at all speeds. It's going to be at the higher speeds, but as it does, it sucks air under the hull. As that air passes under the hull, less friction, less wetted surface, better performance. It's real simple. But way beyond the bottom design, way beyond what the step does, it's the features of this ST that I like. Look, Contender's been around for a long time. They know the fishing game. They've won countless tournaments out there. They know how to design a boat right. Let's look at the features of this boat, and people will see why this boat is really up there for the tournaments.
I've been a Contender fan for a long time. Let's step on this one.
All right, it's no coincidence that we started the Contender at the back, because here on any tournament boat, this is where all the action's going to happen.
It is, and they are so set up to do so many different things. They don't have a live well on this boat, they have a live well system. So different live wells, different baits. You're gonna have, maybe it's a day when it's rough and you need big baits, you need big blue runners. Maybe you're looking for big kingfish, but at the same time you want a sardine out. Everything has a specific mission and you segregate your baits accordingly.
Well, the way they keep the bait wells plumbed and keep all that fresh water going to your fish, they use what they call a pump box, or some people may know it as a sea chest. There's 3 individual pumps. They each have their own shutoffs, so each box has its own pump. And the way they bring the water into that sea chest, it's not like a lot of boats, they just drill a hole through and they put the pump through and they're dragging a strainer through the water. This, they actually fill the sea chest or the pump box full of water and they pump from there. It's a lot more efficient, a lot less chance of you opening that box to see it dry.
Man, 30 years ago, I thought we'd seen the ultimate rocket launchers. Can you imagine the engineering that went into this thing? Every square inch has a purpose.
There's a lot of storage down in here. They have a fold-out rigging table, which makes great for long runs. One person drives the boat, another person's back here rigging the ballyhoo. Even while you're fishing, and let's say you're trolling, it's still a good place to have where you can put your tackle. If you don't need it though, it folds out of the way, and then that way you have the cockpit all open.
Dave, all the way down to the rod holders. Now rod holders are also drink holders. They've just redesigned everything about the rocket launcher.
I know we talk about it on every boat is the importance of a good console design, but I really like this one. I like the shadow box. I like the fact that the electronics are further back inside. They have a lid that'll come down and protect them from the elements. But being back like that, if you get in the direct sunlight, these are so much easier to read.
So much easier to see. You're right. It is hard to get the angle right when they're flush mounted on the console. Recess it back in there, it's a whole lot easier.
Well, too, they pushed the steering wheel a little bit. It's almost centered on the console. Look, face it, you're gonna be fishing this boat, there's gonna be 5 or 6 guys on board. If we're running and it gets a little bit of bad weather like we had today, the guy can drive here in the center, other guys can get in around him, and everyone can get behind the protection of this isinglass.
You can get blocked by the isinglass, you're exactly right. It makes for a more comfortable ride in a rainstorm, that's for sure.
I like the switches, they're easy to get to, they're easy to see. All of these are just little things, but when you put them all together, that's why Contender's at the top of their game.
It's not a coincidence, Dave, that you're going to see them in the money in an awful lot of tournaments.
Well, down inside the console, they also have a potty. A lot of storage down there, easy step to get down inside. So here again, a lot of function went into the design of the console. I like the shape, I like the size. I can see over it. You and I aren't very tall, and I can still see over this console even if we're sitting. All right, something you see on a lot of boats is a coffin box in the bow. This Contender 32 ST has a really, really nice one in the front. Come check this out.
Oh boy, this brings back some memories. My daughter, 30-something years ago, was raised sleeping on a coffin box like this, but do me a favor, don't ever show her this backrest. She was always falling off the back end when we ran hard. What a great idea. This is a whole lot easier than the access to a lot of boxes. The lid is big and it is higher in the boat. I'd rather wrestle a big dolphin into this box than I would one in the deck.
Well, like we said earlier, it'll lift up on an electric actuator so you can get to the room underneath it for additional storage when you don't have all the weight of the box to lift. But let's say you're going to run down a big fish. This is also another place where you could sit and you could fight a big fish because it's a lot easier to chase him with those outboards than it is to try and muscle him in with the reel. All right, front of the console, you have comfortable seating there. You've got insulated drink storage underneath the seat. If you look at the overall design of this is a boat that'll do a little bit of everything. I see where I can take the family out. I see where I can take fishermen out. One boat, it's very, very functional.